Labour MP and Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott was Britain's first black woman in the House of Commons. 31 years later, she remains the single most abused member of Parliament. So when a Sky News presenter tried to mock her to her face live on air, she made sure he regretted it. The right side of history. Diane Abbott is not a newcomer to the Windrush scandal. Like just 17 other MPs in the House, Abbott opposed the 2014 Immigration Act that made it possible. The same cannot be said of Labour centrists like Yvette Cooper, who called the act sensible and ensured Labour MPs didn't block it. But 4 years on, it is Abbott and the left who've been proven sadly right about the implications of the Immigration Act. Theresa May's act undid the rights of the Windrush generation. People who've lived and worked in Britain for more than half a century have lost their jobs, been denied life-saving treatment from the NHS, been locked up in detention centres, and even been threatened with deportation. But it wasn't the scandal that toppled Amber Rudd. Instead, it was her apparent ignorance or denial of Home Office deportation targets. So instead of congratulating Abbott on ousting Rudd, Sky News presenter Jonathan Samuels tried to use this as a rod with which to beat her. During the 2017 general election, Abbott suffered a diabetic episode during an interview about police numbers. Despite the cause of Abbott's underperformance in the interview, the media went after her regardless. A year later, Samuels attempted to draw a parallel between that one bad interview and deporting thousands of citizens. It did not go well for him. The showdown. Samuels put his point to Abbott, saying, "It is difficult to be across all aspects of your department, especially a huge department like the Home Office. You yourself haven't always, been completely clear on police numbers, for example." To which she replied, "Do you know what I've never been responsible for? I've never been responsible for ruining hundreds and possibly thousands of people's lives. I've never been responsible for people not getting cancer treatment. I've never been responsible for people going back to Jamaica and then being trapped there for years. I've never been responsible for the material issues that happened under Amber Rudd's watch. That is why I think she has done the right thing by resigning. And most British people think that also." All the while, she was wearing a face which said simply, "You need to get up earlier in the morning to mess with me, sir. Shut down." Well done at Hackney Abbott putting Tory spokesman, part-time Sky presenter, Jonathan Samuels in his place. Diane got one figure wrong in one interview a year ago. Rudd and May responsible for the wrong deportation of hundreds of British citizens. Media need to end bias. To Diane. pic.twitter.com/kapokskwepgw, devutopia at @d_ravel. April 30, 2018. Support for Abbott and others backed Abbott against a hostile media too. Lot of journalists willing to extend a sympathy to Amber Rudd they've never afforded Diane Abbott, wonder why. Don Foster at Don Foster. April 29, 2018. Anyone else feeling uneasy at the sight of Yvette Cooper, who despite her recent interventions did not oppose the legislation which made Abbott, who has opposed it throughout, and David Lammy are airbrushed old git a tool for it. April 30, 2018. One thing is clear, if Diane Abbott wasn't Shadow Home Secretary then Amber Rudd would still be in office. A Labour Shadow Home Secretary who had supported the 2014 Immigration Act would have been hampered in pursuing the Government over its cruel policies. Lee Brown at Lee James Brown. April 30, 2018. The media might want to condemn Abbott for one bad interview, but she's spent over 30 years in Parliament, being right about a whole lot else. Get involved. Join the Canary, so we can keep holding the powerful to account. Read and support other independent media outlets, Media Diversified, Novara Media, Corporate Watch, Red Pepper, New Internationalist, Common Space, Media Lens, Bella Caledonia, Vox Political, Evolve Politics, Real Media, Real News, Strike Magazine, The Bristol Cable, The Meteor, The Squawk Box, Salford Star, The Ferret. Featured image via screen grab.